Solar power is a great way to make a home energy efficient. However, some homeowners may think that going solar is out of their economic reach. SunPower by Hooked on Solar helps customers make their homes energy efficient at an affordable cost. So joining me now to share more about the benefits of solar energy is CEO Ed Froelich. Ed Froelich, that is. So Ed, thank you so much for joining me right now, but tell us a little bit about SunPower by Hooked on Solar.
Well, SunPower by Hooked on Solar is an independent company. It's owned, but it's one of 475 SunPower dealers throughout the United States. The thing we're proud about here, we're a local Sacramento company. We have been for over 35 years. But importantly is we're one of 8 out of 475 that are master dealers, the only one in the Sacramento area. But even we're more proud than that is that we were the dealer of the year of last year, which means we had the best customer service in the nation.
Oh, that's fantastic. And what are we looking at right here?
Well, these are some of the installs that we've done. We're basically a construction background, got into solar over 7 years ago. So we do all types of installs, from carports to even arch carports to homes, residential, commercial, and churches, for example.
Oh, that's great.
Do all types of type.
Okay, so you got a little bit of something for everybody when it comes to solar power.
We do.
And tell me though, what would you say is the biggest misconception that people have when it comes to going solar?
Well, there are many of them. The biggest problem right now is kind of like the Wild Wild West. A couple of years ago, there were 400 solar companies in the area. Now there are 1,400. A lot of people have come in to make a quick buck and then to exit. So there's a lot of half-truths out there. There's different people you'll hear, don't go to a lease company because you're going to give away your tax credit. And the other ones that don't have leases will say, well, let's go for a purchase and not a lease. So it's back and forth. There's so much misinformation. We started what's called the SunPowerChallenge.com so people can go on and get the truth about solar.
Oh, okay.
It does work. It works beautifully. But there are a lot of misinformation out there.
Okay. And what's the difference between panel types and efficiency? Can you explain that? Yeah,
there are many different types of panels. There's over 300 sold in California. The majority of them are called conventional panels, and their production is normally around 15%, whereas we use a product called SunPower, which is a new technology, over 21%. So we use much less space on a roof, and it's much more robust. But there are different kinds of panels out there, and they do make a difference. It's like if you went to an auto dealership, you wouldn't say, bring me any car and I'll give you 20,000.
Yeah, no.
Because he would say, well, it's got 4 wheels, it gets you from A to B.
Yeah.
But that's what's happening in solar. People are coming in and they're saying it doesn't matter what panel is, a kilowatt's a kilowatt. Oh. It does. There's a huge difference in product.
Yeah, absolutely. I could totally see why. So you actually brought something here to demonstrate. It's called, you have a cell breaking kit. So can you kind of show me how this works and what we're looking at?
Sure. The conventional panel, this is one of the cells in this conventional panel. Okay. And as you can see, what happens in all solar panels, they have to have a metal grid to pick up the power. So this metal grid is on the front. It's actually a paste that's glued on, and then there's some tape. Well, can you imagine putting painted lines on your dashboard in your car, or tape, and then put it in the park in the sun? How many days and years and months would it take before that starts to crinkle and change? Well, that's the problem, the main problem. There's a lot of problems, but that's the main problem with the conventional panel. So when this sees the sunlight, within the first 60 days, it drops 3%. That means the stream of power you're buying drops 3%. Oh. In 10 years, it'll drop as much as 18%. So the difference is this is exposed to the sunlight. So what happens when exposed to sunlight, this is a test. Just go ahead and bend it.
Oh my gosh, that's way more brittle than I thought that would be. That's like a leaf.
Yeah, and what that does is it's a little piece of glass is what a cell is. Yeah. But the basic thing is, microscopically, this is what happens when the sunlight hits it. It starts to degrade. It starts to break. Electricity can't get through. Yes. So it heats up and then the panel fails. Yeah. There's a lot of other differences, but in the SunPower panel, if you take this and try to break it, it will break as well. But you notice it stays together.
Even half as
well, what happens is all the pickups on the back side, so it never sees the sunlight, so it doesn't degrade. Okay. It degrades less than 1/10 of 1% per year. So in 10 years, on the conservative side, this dropped 2.5%. This one dropped 3% in the first 60 days.
You know, breaking that was a huge difference between the two. I mean, seriously, the first one felt like a brittle leaf, like you pick up in the fall and you crush it, the way that it just kind of crumbled. This, though, very even break, and I could see how this is a lot more sustainable than this one.
The reason is it's 100% covered by copper on the back side.
Oh.
So it's a copper plate, costs much more to install it. So that's why it stays together. So when the heat expands and contracts, it moves as one unit, so it doesn't degrade, it doesn't see the sunlight, and it's much more robust. That's why it's about 20% more robust than any other panel in the world.
And you have a special offer for our viewers.
We do. We have a Lincoln Design Center. We're the first one in California to open up a design center. People can come in and see our Lincoln Design Center. If they do, we have a $500 gift certificate or a check back to them when they can install. And we also have a promotion with, if they say something like they've seen you on this show, that we give them a free iPad as well.
Oh, wonderful. An iPad to go along with your new fancy technology on your home.
That way you can watch the monitoring, watch your system produce power for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I learned so much today.
Thank you.
I had no clue.